Hello everyone, welcome back to the course Electric Networks. In the last lecture, we saw several problems on basics of electrics or basic circuits. Now moving forward with circuit theorems. In the circuit theorems, there are almost many theorems are there, but we will be covering few of them. So let's start with our first theorem, that is superposition theorem. Superposition theorem. Or it states that in a linear active bilateral network with several independent sources. The response in a particular element when all the sources acting simultaneously is equal to the sum of individual responses. Acting alone at a time. Now to demonstrate what it simply states that if we have a network and if x1 is the input, this is x, this is y is the response. So if x1 is the input, y1 is the output. If x2 is input, y2 is output. So according to superposition theorem, if x1 plus x2 is the input, then the response can be written as y1 plus y2. Now to demonstrate it, let us take an example. Consider this problem. This is a resistor, a resistance here, a resistance in this is a voltage source, and this is current source. This is 3 ohm, 1 ohm and 2 ohm. This is I plus or minus 10 volts. This is 2 amperes. Now in this question, what we have to find? That is I. We have to find I. Now to apply superposition theorem, what we have to do? First we will find the response due to this 10 volt voltage source, and then due to this response in 2 ohm due to this 2 ampere current source individually, and then we will sum up these two, we will get the final response I, right? So let's start. Now finding the response, that is I1 in 2 ohm resistor due to 10 volts. Due to 10 volts, let us say this is I1. I1 due to this when this is deactivated. Deactivated means this is open circuit. So I1 will be what? This is open circuit, no current will flow through this. So I1 will be 10 volts divided by 2 plus 1, 3. That is 10 by 3 amps. Now due to this 2 ampere current source, so for that we have to suppress this voltage source. So by replacing it by short circuit, what we will have, these 2 ohm and 1 ohm will be in parallel. So the I2 will be the total current multiplied by opposite branch resistance divided by sum, and it means 2 by 3 amperes. Now the current will be in, both the currents will be in the direction of I, so we have to just add them. So the net resultant response is the sum of I1 plus I2. As I1 is flowing downward, also I2 is flowing downward. So I is equal to I1 plus I2. I1 is 10 by 3 and I2 is 2 by 3, 12 by 3, that is 4 amperes. So what we saw even if we calculate simultaneously, let us check whether it is correct or not. So for that, let us do it by nodal analysis, right? Method 2. When we apply nodal analysis here, what we will have? V minus 10 by 1 ohm plus V minus 0 by 2 ohm minus 2 is equal to 0. From here we will have what? So from here we will be have 24 by 3, that is 8 volt, and I will be what? V by 2, that is 4 ampere. So after cross checking this by nodal analysis, we have the same result. So we can say that this is verified. So when we will use this superposition theorem? When there will be number of sources. Now notice here, this is not a thumb rule that whenever we have a circuit which has a various number of independent sources, we have to apply superposition. No, depending on the situation, depending on the type of problem, we will use the different theorems just to save the time. Now let's take another example. Consider this circuit. Here it is a current source of value 8 amperes, a resistance here, a current source, a resistance, the resistance, volts. This is 1 ohm, this is 2 ohm, this is 3 ohm, and this is 5 ohm, 16 amps, this is 4 ohm, right? In the question, what we have to find? I, right? Now to solve this, let's use superposition theorem. So let's first consider the response, that is current flowing through this 5 ohm resistor, due to this 16 volts current source. For that, what you have to do? We have to suppress this current source and this current source, means replacing these two by open circuit. So what will be the current due to current in 5 ohm resistor due to this 16 volts is, let us say this is I1. I1 will be what? This 16 volts divided by, since this is open circuit, no current will flow through this. This is open circuit, so no current will go in this path. So whatever current this will deliver will go through this path only. So 16 divided by 1 plus 2 plus 5, which is 16 by 8, 2 ampere. Right? Now the current due to 8 ampere source. Okay, let us say this is I2. Now to find the current in 5 ohm resistor due to 8 ampere source, we have to separate this 16 ampere voltage current source and this 16 volts voltage source. For that, what we have to do? This is replace this by open circuit and replace this by short circuit. So for that, no current will flow through this. Whatever current, this is 8 ampere, will go through this. Divide here in two parts. One is here in downward direction through 5 So what will be current due to 8 ampere? The total current applied by opposite branch resistance. What is opposite branch resistance? This is 5 plus 1. 2 divided by total resistance, 5 plus 2 plus 1. That is it. So this is 2 ampere. Now the current due to this 16 amperes, right? Now notice here that I1 was in the direction of I, I2 was in the direction of I, that is in downward direction, but the I3, that is the current due to this 16 ampere current source in 5 ohm resistor, will be in upward direction, means opposite to the direction of I. So this we have to keep in mind. So what will be the value of I3? Total current multiplied by, this is open circuit, this 16 ampere will come here, will get divided here, one part will go here, right, another will go here, come here, and again combine here with return to this current source through this path. So opposite branch resistance will be what? This path resistance, that is 3 divided by total resistance is what? 8 ohm. So what is the current? 8, that is 6 ampere. Since this is in opposite, this is the opposite direction, this is in the opposite direction of I, so this is minus 6 ampere. So the net current in 5 ohm resistor I will be sum of these three, that is 2 plus 2 minus 6, which is equal to minus 2 ampere, right? Now let us calculate power loss in 5 ohm resistor. P is equal to what? I square R. So minus 2 square into R is what? 5. So 4 into 5, that is 20 watts, right? This minus here is representing the sign, means the net current is flowing opposite to the direction of I, that is assumed direction I or asked direction I. Now come to the next theorem, which is homogeneity, or simply this is not a theorem, this is a principle basically, or it states homogeneity principle, right? Or it states, it simply states that in a linear network, if the excitation is multiplied by a constant k, then the response will also get multiplied by k, right? Means if this is a network and this is x, this is y. Now if we feed a signal here by kx, we will have the response ky, right? Now to demonstrate this, let us consider an example. Consider this circuit. This is 3 ohm, 4 ohm, 4 ohm, and this is 20 volt, right? The question is, what will be the branch current if the source voltage is 60 volt? Means this 20 volt current voltage source will be replaced by 60 volts. Then what will be the branch current? So to find this, first of all, we need to find the currents in all the branches due to this 20 volt. Let's say this is I. Say this is I. We will get divided in two parts, I1, I2. Now I will be what? 20 volts divided by total resistance, 4 parallel to 4, 2 plus 1 3, 2 plus 3 5, so 4 ampere. I1 will be what? I1 will be total current multiplied by 4, sorry, it will be simply half, right? Because this is 4 ohm, this is also 4 ohm, so this current will divide in 2 equal parts, that is 2 ohm, 2 amperes, and I2 will be same 2 ampere, right? Now according to superposition theorem, what we are doing here, we are multiplying the excitation, we are multiplying the input by 3 times. That is, if the circuit is like this, (3 ohm, 4 ohm, 4 ohm, but this is 60 volt, then what will be the value of these currents? So according to homogeneity principle, we will have, since the excitation is multiplied by 3 by a factor of 3, so this I will be multiplied by 3, that is 4 multiplied by 3, 12 ampere. I1 will be 2 multiplied by 3, 6 ampere, and I2 will be 2 multiplied by 3, 6 ampere. Clear? Now let's take another example. Basically this example will incorporate or will illustrate both the superposition as well as homogeneity principle. So let's consider a network like this. This is a linear network. This is V1, V2, this is 1 dash, this is 2 dash, and here an element is connected in 3 dash, and this is I. A table has been given. This is V1, this is V2, this is I, this is 2V, 0 volts and 0.5 amperes, 0 volts, 5 volts minus 1 ampere. Now since they have given this much of data, we have to find the value of I, right, when V1 and V2 both are acting simultaneously. Since, see here, they have given the value that when only voltage source of 2 volts is applied or V2 is 0, that is, this is short circuited, then the current flowing through this terminal 3 dash is 0.5 ampere, right? In another statement, they have given that when we short the terminal 1 or apply a voltage source of 5 volts across the terminal 2 dash, we will have a current of minus 1 ampere, means opposite to this current direction, right, of magnitude 1 ampere. Now the question is, we have to find I when V1 is equal to 10 volts and V2 is equal to minus 5 volt, right? Now see, since V1 is 2 volt, then current is 0.5 ampere. Now if V1 is 10 volts, if V1 is equal to 10 volts, then I will be what? 0.5. Since this 2 volts is scaled by a factor of 5, then it becomes 10 volts. So we have to scale the response by 5 times. That is 2.5 ampere. Similarly, if V2 was minus 5 volts, then what will be I? Now see here, when V2 was 5 volt, the current was minus 1 ampere, right? Now if V2 is minus 5 volts means we have to scale it by minus 1, right? So it will be minus 1 and we have to scale it by minus 1, so the current will be 1 ampere. Now using superposition theorem, what we will have? We will have the current I is equal to, let us say this is I1 and I2. I1 plus I2 will be the net resultant current, that is 2.5 plus 1, 3.5 ampere. Now this was the basically an example to demonstrate the principle of homogeneity as well as superposition theorem. Both the superposition theorem as well as homogeneity is applied here in this problem. Now coming to our next topic, that is Thevenin's theorem. Right. What Thevenin's theorem states that a linear active bilateral network with two terminal circuit can be replaced by an equivalent circuit consisting of a voltage source VTH, that is VThevenin, in series with a resistance RTH, right, across the same targeted terminal, where VTH is the open circuit voltage at the target terminal and RTH is the input resistance as seen by the targeted terminal into the circuit. Clear? Now see what it said. If this is a linear active bilateral circuit between these two terminals, this is RL say, then this network, according to Thevenin's theorem, this network can be represented or be replaced by a voltage source having value VTH in series with a resistance RTH across the same targeted terminal A and B. This is RL, right? This is basically the Thevenin's theorem. And what is the VTH? VTH is the open circuit voltage across A and B. And what is RTH? RTH is the resistance seen from terminal A and B. Clear? In the same way, our next theorem is Norton's theorem. What it says? It simply states that in a linear active bilateral network with two terminal circuit can be replaced by an equivalent circuit consisting of a current source. In Thevenin's theorem, it was replaced by a voltage source in series with the resistance RTH, but in Norton's theorem it will be replaced by a current source in parallel with a resistance which we call Norton resistance, right? Continuing with that, where the IN, that is Norton current, is nothing but the open circuited voltage across the target terminal A and B, and Rn is what? The equivalent resistance as seen from terminal A and B. Means if this is a circuit, linear active bilateral, this is A and this is B, this is RL. This circuit can be replaced by a current source in parallel with a resistance across the same targeted terminal. This is RL, this is Norton resistance, this is Norton current IN, right? Since we will deal with these two theorems parallelly, because there is no difference in this, only they are dual to each other. This will deal with voltage, this will deal with current. Resistance is same. Now What will be the procedure for this? Let's consider this is a network, this is a resistor RL, and the task is to find IL, that is current through this load resistance. So for that, to apply this Thevenin's theorem or Norton's theorem, what we have to do first? We have to remove this RL, right? Find VTH, find RTH, and then replace this circuit by a voltage source in series and add. So this will be what? VTH, this will be RTH, this will be RL, right? So what will be IL? IL will be VTH by RTH plus RL. In case of Norton, how we have to proceed? First of all, we have to remove this RL. This will get converted in this form, right? Terminal A, terminal B. We have to find ISC, that is short circuited current. We will short this, find this short circuited current, ISC, okay, and find the open circuit. After finding this ISC, we will find the equivalent resistance seen from these two terminals A and B. Let us say this will be Rn. Rn will nothing but the RTH. So the equivalent circuit will become we have calculated ISC. ISC is nothing but IN, right? This resistance is nothing but Rn, not N. So this circuit will transform in this IL, this is RL. So IL will be, in case of Norton, the total current divided by, multiplied by opposite branch resistance Rn divided by total resistance, that is Rn plus RL. Now see here, as RTH and Rn is same, so it will be nothing but RTH plus RL, right? Here we have to understand one thing, that whatever be the theorem applied, the response through the load resistor or the targeted terminal will be same, whether it is Thevenin's theorem or Norton's theorem. Now see, this we have calculated through, that is the load current we have calculated using Thevenin's theorem. This we have calculated, that is load current through the same resistor using Norton's theorem. Since these two will be the same, so now compare these two. What we will have? We will have VTH is equal to IN into RTH, right? So from here, IN will be what? VTH by RTH. So we can simply say that the Norton current is nothing but the Thevenin's voltage divided by Thevenin's resistance, right? Now we will see some problems on that. Before going to problem, one thing we have to understand, that in the question when we solve, it is up to us that which theorem we have to apply. So to get an understanding that which theorem will suit, we have to practice the problem. So let's take problem. Consider a circuit like this. One ampere, 2 ohm, 3 ohm, 4 3 ampere, 1 ohm and 4 volts. Now the question is, find the current through 1 ohm resistor, right? I is equal to what? Now first of all we will solve this problem by Thevenin's theorem, then by Norton's theorem. Now to find the Thevenin's equivalent circuit, what we have to do? We have to remove this 1 ohm resistor and find the open circuit voltage. So VOC we have to find. After open circuiting this terminal, we see this is 1 ampere, this is 3 ampere, so this will be 4 amps. So now writing KVL in this loop, after open circuiting this, what we will have? Minus 4, that is, this is I, this will be plus, this is minus, plus 2 into I, this is plus, this is minus, plus VTH is equal to 0, right? Sorry, we have write KVL in this loop. So what we will have? Minus 4 plus 2 into, now what is the value of I? Since I is going in this direction, but this 4 ampere is coming in this direction, so this will be its opposite direction, this 4 ampere, so it will be minus 4 amps plus VTH is equal to 0. From here we will have VTH as minus 4 minus 8 means 12 volts, right? Now RTH, what will be RTH? If this is open circuit, this is open circuit, this, to find the equivalent resistance, to find RTH, we have to suppress all the independent voltage sources. Notice I am saying independent sources, either independent current sources or voltage sources, not the dependent voltage or current sources, right? So removing this, we have to find RTH. So for that, this is open circuited, this is short circuit, this is open circuited, no current will flow through this, so resistance between these two terminals will be simply this path. So RTH will be what? 2 ohm, right? Now next step is what? Drawing the equivalent circuit. What is equivalent circuit? Thevenin equivalent circuit, VTH in series with RTH, and this is same as RL, right? So this value, this is 1 ohm. We have calculated RTH as 2 ohm, calculated VTH as 12 volts. So this will be I. So now I will be what? 12 divided by 2 plus 1, so 4 amperes, right? Now solving this same problem using Norton's theorem, right? To find its Norton's equivalent circuit, let us redraw the circuit once again. This is 1 ohm, this is 3 ohm, this is 2 ohm, 1 ampere, 3 ampere, and this is 4 volts. Now to find Norton's equivalent circuit, what you have to do? First step is to find the short circuit current. We have to short circuit this, right? After short circuiting, we have to find ISC. What is ISC? Now see, this is 1 amps, this is 3 amps, so this will be 4, right? Now apply nodal analysis here. Since this, after short circuiting this here node voltage will be the reference voltage or 0, let us say 0. So after applying nodal analysis here, 0 minus 4 by 2, that is this current, plus if this is I dash, so it will be what? I dash and this 4 is entering, so we have to write it negative. So from here what we have, I dash is what, minus 2 plus minus 2 minus 4 minus 6, it will be 6 ampere. But this is nothing but ISC, short circuit current, or the Norton current, which is 6 ampere. So its Norton's equivalent circuit will be what? A current source in parallel with the resistance across the targeted terminal A and B. This is 1 ohm. This is RTH. Rn is nothing but RTH, so no need to calculate it. This will be 2 ohm. This is 6 ampere. So I, that is which the question was asked, find the current through 1 ohm resistor, that is I, or say IL. It's better to say IL. IL will be what? Total current multiplied by opposite branch resistance divided by sum of this, 4 ampere. Now see, this current and this current is same, so it doesn't matter what you are applying, either Thevenin's or Norton's, the result will be same. So with this, let's stop here. In the next lecture we will do many problems on this force, like which this force, these are basically superposition theorem, the homogeneity principle, Thevenin's theorem, and the Norton's theorem. Right? With this I am stopping, but before that I would like to say, please like, share or subscribe our channel, even turn on the notification so that you can get the notification about our new uploaded videos. Thank you.